Everybody, it's AmondaRose, your speaking success strategist, and I am super excited to be here with my dear friend, Ella Glasgow, and she is amazing. She is a voice success coach, and we're going to talk about how to use the power of your voice to share your authentic message in a clear way, how to be have an authoritative tone with your voice that people listen, how to handle even voice challenges that even a pro like myself experiences time to time. So I am super excited about this interview with Ella. Say hi, Ella.
Hi, everybody.
Woohoo! We're gonna have a good time today. So if you've ever had any voice challenges, you're concerned that people aren't hearing you because of your voice, or maybe you've been speaking, or even a singer that has had issues come up around your voice, even if you're doing video and you have voice challenges, this interview is absolutely for you. Once again, for those that don't know me, I am AmondaRose, your speaking success strategist. And you can learn more about me at invinciblespeaker.com, invinciblespeaker.com. So Ella, tell everybody a little bit about your background and how you got into the work that you do today.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Excited that we finally got to do this. A little bit about me. I have been a professional singer for almost 20 years. I'm still a professional singer.
and she has an amazing voice. Oh my, I'm so jealous. I wish I could sing that way, but anyway, that's a whole nother topic. Keep going, girl.
The interesting thing is that for the majority of my career, I have specifically sought out only things that required me to sing, because I thought that as a singer, nobody really wanted to hear me talk. And as I grew and as I was working on growing other sides of my business, I began to realize pretty quickly that the only way I was going to get done what I wanted to get done was to start speaking, which freaked me out. And I started figuring out ways to be a better speaker. Some of those tools I picked up from you and from other amazing coaches along the way. But one of the things that I realized for myself is that I could use the tools that I had learned in years on the stage and being in front of people to translate that into my speaking. And so that's now the method that I use when I work with my clients.
And I'll share, I watched one of your testimonial videos from somebody that was a singer, and she had high register like I do, right? And I can go much higher, and we'll talk about that, which I don't want to, in that high register voice, which is unappealing. So I've learned how to handle that, but we'll address that for people. And you transformed her voice, absolutely transformed her voice. It was rich, it was beautiful. And I'll share with you, as a kid growing up, I always wanted to be a singer. Maybe that's why I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach, because I love being in front of people. I love impacting people, and I wanted to be a singer. And so never got to do that as a kid. And I took singing lessons as an adult, and I hated it. So I didn't mind the singing lessons. I didn't like the sound of my singing voice. It was in a higher register, and I thought it was so unappealing. I quit. Had I found somebody like you could have transformed that. Well, now I know you, and now I know that you can even help someone like me sing better. But
yeah,
so many ways. It was beautiful to watch it. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, the thing is that when it comes to speakers, because I have a client right now, I'll see him tomorrow, and he asked me, he said, "You're not going to make me sing," because I'm working with his wife on the singing side, and he said, "You're not going to make me sing." And I said, "Yeah, we're going to sing," because the thing is, as a speaker, one of the main things I talk about with people is pitch. And being able to recognize the other colors that are available to them, like an Oprah Winfrey. You know, she's able to use all of those beautiful colors of her voice, but the only reason why people are able to recognize those things is because they understand melody. And it's hard to understand melody if you don't sing.
See, and I don't sing, so I'm like, melody. I understand the rich tonalities of the voice and things like that. And I don't know that I use that effectively as well. I've never been professionally trained myself in this arena. I've just learned how to overcome some of the challenges that I had.
Right.
Really interesting. Really interesting.
It's not that I'm going to make him, get out on the karaoke stage and sing songs, but it's just being acquainted with pitch itself and feeling it and knowing it in its actual place of singing. Then you can translate all of those pieces to be a melodic speaker so that you're not monotone. But it's hard to be aware of that if you don't know what pitch is.
And that monotone voice, for those who aren't familiar, you'll know when you hear it. It sounds like this. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here at our Facebook Live interview. I'm here with Ella, and I think Ella will, right? People will go, click, not watching this one. And that's because there's no richness in the voice. There's no expression, no individual words that get highlighted in it.
Exactly. And you just did it when you said highlighted, because you went to an extreme pitch when you said highlighted. And it's those little itty bitty things that we make these beautiful melodies that people actually want to listen to. And when you think about songs and the songs that you love, see, everything relates to songs.
Oh, it's appropriate. It's perfect for you.
But when you think about a song and the songs that you love, there's a reason why you love them on so many levels. But part of that has to do with the way that the song is built. It may start off with something that's there are just a few pitches that are just really light, maybe breathy and airy, and then it builds into this big booming piece with the voice kind of soaring over a large range of notes, and then it may come back down. And it's the same thing when we're speaking. If we can learn how to structure those speaking melodies so that it creates a song that people actually want to listen to, and it brings us along on the journey, that is what keeps us as a listener intrigued.
Awesome. And I want to thank everybody that's been joining us. I see some of my favorite peeps on the Facebook Live. So welcome, everybody. Hi. So let's get to some of the things that we'd love to talk about. Now, let's just say a basic strategy is you'll hear people say, oh, I'm losing my voice, or my voice doesn't sound that clear, so go have some hot tea with lemon. That will fix it.
No. Did I say that out loud?
I want you to be truth, say it like it is. No.
Sonia. So the thing is that there's nothing that's going to get to your actual vocal folds, because if it did, you would choke and die. I mean, just at the anatomical level of it, if we think on that level, your vocal folds, the thing that makes the sound, and I don't want to get too scientific, but the thing that makes the sound is housed in the part of your body that goes directly over your lungs. Mm. If anything got down there, nothing goes down to the lungs except air. Food, water, your hot tea and lemon goes down the other pipe that goes down to your stomach. So the hot tea and lemon is good to the extent of helping maybe with a little bit of the inflammation on the sides, but wherein it brings your voice back, no.
Okay, great. And I've learned, and you can correct me if this is wrong, is that even drinking cold water tightens up your vocal cords. And so ultimately, when you're drinking cold water and you go to speak, you're going to have a harder time communicate your message, because you also can't breathe as well. Would you agree, or?
I don't.
You don't. Okay. Tell me. Enlighten me.
There are many differing sides when it comes to this particular thing, even in the voice world, as to what it is that we should do when it comes to drinking things like that. Some people are like, okay, cold water is fine. Others are like, yeah, don't touch the cold water. For myself, I don't really drink a lot of ice cold water when I'm going to sing, but it's just because of the way that I grew up. Does it have anything to do with constricting the vocal folds specifically? No. Can it constrict maybe the muscles around that area? It's a possibility. Mm. But will it constrict it to the point that you're not going to be able to do what you need to do? Everyone's body is different. And you really need to understand what your body is going to do. But on the level of it actually physically doing something bad to your voice, no. Because like I said, it's not touching your vocal folds. You have to be aware that there are muscles around that can become constricted, and there are things that you can do to stop that constriction. There are exercises and other things that you can make happen to release those muscles from closing down on the house of the vocal folds.
So could you share like one exercise with us that we could, because I would love to know that I could do to strengthen, you know, if I'm speaking on Friday, I'd love to have something new tool in my wheelhouse.
I will give you one tool in 2 ways.
Okay.
Yeah, because not everybody, I won't have time to help everybody do this right now. So one thing that I like to get people to do, Sonia knows because Sonia is one of my clients. Don't give away my secrets, Sonia.
No, and we don't have to. We can totally skip this. You actually have a free gift for people at the end, so they can learn from that experience, learn from you there.
Yeah, no, totally kidding. But a vocal warm-up is it, and I'm going to give you a very, very quick one. It is called a siren, and it is one that's really easy to do. You can do it in one of 2 ways. You can do it, or you can do it in a number of ways. I'm going to give you 2. But you can do it on an ah and just say, ah, from your comfortable highest, which may not be where my comfortable highest is, to the very lowest, and to that place that we call vocal fry, so that bubbly kind of a place.
Okay.
So if you want to try that with me, just say,
oh, you're going to make me do
of course. And I'm
all right, highest to lowest.
Yes, okay. So here's the thing. And I'm
embarrassing myself, Ella.
Hey! So here's
never done that before, sorry.
Here's the thing that you may or may not have recognized. When you did that, there were parts of your voice, you jumped from one part to the next, okay? You can feel it, though, when you actually pay attention. So when you get to those spots that feel like they're a little bit sticky and just want to jump, for instance, listen. Ah! You hear that jump?
Yeah.
You can feel when that happens, slow down so that you can smooth through that part. So try again.
All right, next question. No. All right, one more time. All right, highest to lowest.
Yeah, almost.
Oh my God, my dogs are in here. They would be dying right now.
The other way that you can do that is actually with a lip trill or a lip bubble or a lip roll, however you want to call it, motorboat. Okay. It's like this.
I like that way better. I'll work on that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to wait to my talk, my presentation going.
Yeah.
In my work as a speaker trainer, I've seen quite a difference between women and men when they have voice challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, women are often, they don't know how to tap into that authoritative voice, the authoritative tone, which men often find easier because just the tone of their voice. And so women are often afraid that if they go, it's not the volume and the authoritative tone that increases, they're worried about increasing the volume, that people would think they're shouting.
Right.
And so there's a lot of dynamics. So can you talk a little bit about the difference between men and women, and maybe give a suggestion to each of those groups and that would help them?
Okay, so when it comes to an authoritative tone, it is very easy for us to assume that it has to do with only pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not it. If you think about the little old lady that's at your library when you were a kid who was 3'11", and you were scared to death of what she would do to you if you didn't return that book, or maybe the teacher
slam that book right on your hand.
And she spoke like this. But I'll tell you what, you were afraid. Her voice was small, right? And she was small in stature. So what was different about her than the lady that is 35 that has the small voice and is maybe taller in stature? The difference is her attitude. And that's something that I work with my clients on. There's something that you have to own inside of yourself first before we can change and let us work with the other colors that are available to us. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So for a woman, the client that you spoke of, the one whose voice was changed drastically, We worked for quite a while before she was willing to even use that color that you heard in that testimonial. It was not an immediate thing. It wasn't immediate in her use. We had found it immediately, but her actually stepping into that took her a few months to actually say, okay, I can own this place now. I'm not afraid whatever people are going to think about the fact that my voice is so drastically different, because you heard it, it's drastically different from what it was before, because she could speak that way, speak in that tone, and still not have that command.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's a mindset on both the male side and the female side. When you own who you are, then those two things, the pitch, the color, the dynamic, the tone, all of that comes together to make a dynamic package that allows you to command your stage.
Yeah, because as I mentioned before, whether people are speaking in front of a live audience, on video, in a one-to-one conversation, your voice is incredibly important to your message. It's not just the words you say. It's not what you do with your body language. Your voice is important because they are listening. And so when I know for myself, when I first started speaking, I get really nervous and I go into that higher register. And luckily somebody pointed it out to me and they said, this is what you're doing. And a higher register to me is like a chalkboard. It's unappealing, right? And I was like, I need to change. And what you said before was exactly what I did. I owned who I was, I am, and I owned my message.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started to step into that, obviously, and knowing that I could not allow myself to go in that higher register, it may not be perfect, but I'm well more grounded in my voice and who I am.
Right, exactly. And the thing is that when I'm working with people, that's the thing I'm going to ask you to own first, because before we can get all of this working and allow us to use the other colors that are available to us, we have to work on this thing here. Because I could give you all of the exercises in the world to tell you how to physically, scientifically change your voice. But until you change this piece, this, it won't matter. So I think that is vitally important, because the voice itself, it's honestly your most valuable asset that we often don't take the time to pay attention to, because what was happening, what was coming through for you was what you owned, and you owned the fear. Your voice will translate and betray you what's actually going on. You may be trying to say a particular thing, but what you own authentically inside is what energetically will come out of your voice.
Yeah, amen to that. So let me ask you this from mine situation, and I want to talk about losing the voice and also what happens with me. So I might be doing a 3-day training. By the third day, I am in that higher register.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to get myself down because my voice is tired at that point. And when I train like I'm not bringing in a bunch of other speakers and stuff. I'm training majority of that time, so my voice gets tired. Yeah. So I tend to, instead of saying losing my voice, I tend to just go into that default of that higher register.
Right.
So if somebody's losing their voice or experiencing that kind of tired, what can they do? What can we do?
Right. So when you're training for hours in the day. And you are not unlike many people. We have teachers that have to train hours and hours in the day. And it has to do with voice technique. Because it is possible for you to train for hours and hours. I do it, you do it. It's possible to actually train for hours and hours and not lose your voice. But it's an understanding of knowing what it is your voice can handle, number one, and then building upon that. And then also utilizing, on a very basic level, utilizing the breath in an efficient way that will allow you to not be tired when you're speaking. And then once you're done with the day, you need to cool down.
Yeah.
Cool down. It's a muscle, just like any other muscle. So when you go and work out, a true trainer is going to encourage you to do a stretch afterwards, after you've done your intense training with the muscles that you've been working, right?
Right.
Same thing with the voice. If you don't cool it down, it just stays in that stretch state, and you've got to give it an opportunity to just kind of relax again.
So would cool it down, just not be talking? Like a lot of times I've heard singers, they tell singers, not to not use their voice, for days or something like that.
Not talking is something that you can do if the vocal folds are swollen, and you can feel when they're swollen.
Yeah, not swollen. Just they're not swollen.
It's just you can stop talking, but cooling down has to do with actually doing another type of warm up or warm down. So you can do that same thing that I gave you, that.
I'm going to get good at that. You're going to see a video with me going, that was my next Facebook Live.
You can also use vocal fry and just kind of, it's like a little massage for the voice.
Oh, interesting. We have to take care of it. It's a wonderful gift that we've had.
Yeah, we don't have, not yet, we don't have any animatronic vocal folds in our future right now, so you only get one.
I have one more question for you, and this is a question, and I'm going to ask it in a minute, a question that I hear from people, and I want to ask this of you, but I first want you to tell everybody where they could get this often free mini course that you have for them, what's in it, and how can they access it.
Awesome. So if you go to freemyvoice.com, you can get the free mini course, and we'll put that in the comments just in case I said it wrong, but I believe it's freemyvoice.com. So you can get the free mini course, and that will give you some really good foundation, give you an idea of how it is that I work, some of the kooky, crazy things that I will have you do to have your voice working in optimal fashion. So that's that there. You can also go to my website, which is yourvoicesuccess.com, and check out some of their things that are there.
Awesome. Great. So it's free. Say the domain again.
freemyvoice.com.
freemyvoice.com. So I run into this every once in a while when somebody says, can you help me? And this is not my arena. I don't like the sound of my voice.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So what is going on with them? Is it the challenges that they have with their voice that are showing up that makes them not like it? Or is it something that is just genetically about their voice that you can help them shift?
Okay.
Is it more physically or is it more emotionally?
This is a big can of worms.
To open up a can of worms. Hey, we gotta hit this out of the park. It's the end of the interview.
This is a big can of worms. So this goes back to what you and I were talking about before with the mindset thing. So when people tell me that they don't like the sound of their voice, a lot of that has to do with they've heard their voice on a particular recording or something like that, and they're really happy with what that sounded like at that point in time.
How many of you can relate to that?
And they ran away from it. I'm going to be honest with you. I love the sound of my voice. Okay. But hasn't always been that way. I've learned to love the sound of my voice. And one of the things that I ask my clients to do is to record themselves and listen to it, because it's hard for you to change something if you don't know what it is you're really trying to change. Because I hate the sound of my voice is really broad. What don't you like about it? Do you like that it sounds? Do you not like that it sounds nasally? Do you not like that it sounds too high pitched? Do you not like that it sounds too breathy? An overall blanket statement, I don't like the sound of my voice, doesn't really help me help you. Help me help you, help me help you.
So let's kind of address this, because I've heard that term breathy before. What does that term breathy mean when a voice is breathy? Or give me an example of that.
Yeah, breathy is like this. A really classic example would be Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, Marilyn.
And that's an extreme example of it. Yeah.
Even though she was, people loved her, and I mean, she continues to have fans all these years. You know, she got away with her breathiness, but most of us can't. As people that are going to be on video, people that are presenting to live audiences, an audience doesn't or has a hard time listening to that, as you did that beautiful example. Like, yes, yes, I think you should buy my products and programs, right? It wouldn't be taken seriously. We're not most of us are not Marilyn. So we gotta put our best foot forward.
Right. And the thing is that you have to understand too, Marilyn was brilliant. There are many artists who we think that are kind of dowdy that are brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. She took that breathiness, which wasn't necessarily being done in that very way at that time in history. There were breathy people, but she took it and made it sexy. She owned, like we were talking about before, she owned that quality. And if you go back and listen to her speak, she didn't always speak that way. There were times she had other qualities besides just speaking like this all the time. Sometimes her vocal folds came completely together. She didn't just stay in one mode.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, this has been so much fun. I hope you all are enjoying this interview, enjoyed all the great content, took awesome notes. And I'll have Ella share again how you can get her free gift. And if you would like my 8 high-performance speaking tips to double and even triple your results and your revenue, that's 8 high-performance speaking tips to double and even triple your results and your revenue, go to HIGH performancespeaking.com. That's HIGH performancespeaking.com. And Ella, tell them again about your free gift and how they can access it.
I'm going to tell them again the correct address now. It's freemyvoiceminicourse.com. freemyvoiceminicourse.com. And like I said, hopefully we can type that into the comments somewhere.
We will, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know you want to go get it because this woman's a wealth of information and your voice is here to provide a powerful tool for you so you're clear, concise, and compelling when you speak in every situation. Ella, you have been amazing.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you.
All right, bye, everybody. Ella, you can hang on for 1 second and we'll just stop the broadcast. Love you all. Bye.